Hello, welcome back everyone to the Comic Show, episode number 38. We've been absent for a little bit. There were some personal things going on, and sometimes that happens. And normally we try to have some kind of like perimeters in place to where we can like throw a podcast down, or anything of that nature. But this time we do have VODs. We do have old podcasts that you can listen to just to get a little, refresher on things. So we appreciate your patience and stuff, and podcast listeners. Sorry for that. I know you guys subscribe to listen to the podcast, but we typically, things happen. And at the end of the day, we're back. So that's a good thing. I'm your host, Technique, and I'm here with Matt.
Hello. What's up,
How's
Frank?
it going? How's it going?
I'm
doing pretty
well,
good, man.
Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday.
Yeah.
It's the weather's finally turning hopefully nice again. We'll see if that actually holds true. But outside that, yeah, we've been off for 2 weeks. Apologies, everybody.
Yeah.
As Frank said, life gets a little bit crazy sometimes, but we're here. This is episode 38. 2 more episodes, and we're on even number 40. We got a lot of fun things planned, but it's been not just a interesting 2 weeks, but we've also had a interesting week this past week with a lot of stuff going down. And you actually just saw something movie-wise news between Apple and Sony, but. Man, outside of that, life is good. I'm good. How about you, man? How's everything with you?
I'm doing okay. Last month was rough, dude. Last month was taxes, and I literally paid a whole car.
Jesus.
And that was there's got to be some changes being made. So yeah, we're going S Corp. 100%.
There you go.
Coming up soon. So that's going to be a lot of meetings and stuff with lawyers and all that good stuff to just get things going with that. But other than that, I'm doing pretty good, man. I mean, we're starting to get into the heat of it, the thick of it, when it comes to shows. We got Moon Knight that just released this week, and we have Obi-Wan and coming up, and we have Morbius.
Yeah, we got to talk about that today.
I should call it Morbid-is, because
Oof.
Anyway, yeah, we have that. Man. And reading some of those reviews were just it actually hurt. Yeah, things I would say this week slaps, but that was Will Smith. So we got a lot we got a lot to talk about, man. The potential of Will Smith was rumored to be in the MCU at some point, and
I don't think you're gonna see or hear from him for
I think he's taking a break.
while.
We'll get into that and why as Will Smith resigned from the Academy, which is it's not a small feat.
Wait, was that actually real, or was that April
100%? Yeah,
Fool's?
it was announced today.
Oh, okay. It was today. I thought it was yesterday. I was like, what the heck?
Yesterday they announced it, but he announced it yesterday. His PR did, but we were waiting to see if the Academy accepted it or not, and they did. It didn't matter. He was going to resign anyway, but they were like, we accepted. And that's a huge deal, man. Like, I think that's a little harsh on the whole matter, especially since Chris Rock is not making a big deal of it. He's even telling his fans to calm the heck down. Like these things happened. Friends, aka friends, whatever, quote unquote, whatever you want to call it, or associates get into quarrels. Granted, Will Smith probably shouldn't put his hands on them, but at the end of the day, Chris Rock should have kept his mouth closed. It's a both-sided thing, and I think the person that's handling it the best is Chris Rock. At the end of the day, he was very professional, stayed on stage.
Yeah.
And he didn't press charges. He understood the gravity of the situation. He understood that he constantly keeps them in his mouth. He got slapped for it. That wasn't cool. But at the same time, he should have kept his wife's name out his mouth. Like he should have did it. He should have did it. But anyway, I feel bad for Will. I know Will's going through some personal stuff, so some time off will help him. That doesn't say that later on that he could get back into good graces with the Academy. I mean, if you want Will Smith in your movie, you're going to hire Will Smith in your movie. You don't need an Academy for that. I think he built his reputation up enough to be able to get in whatever the hell he wants to. And he's even got enough money to make his own movies. So who cares?
How does that work exactly? Because I know you're in the industry, voice acting, you're in here, all that other stuff. My friend Matt, he's also an actor, and I actually never asked him this, but so I know there's SAG, the Screen Actors Guild Award. I know there's also a Screen Actors Guild, and I know then there's the Academy. So like, as an actor, if you're going to be in a Marvel film or a DC film, these things that we talk about here, or even voice act for something that big, do you need to be part of SAG? Do you need to be part of the Academy? Like, is that like contractual? They can't literally just drag you off the streets. They can, but that you have to do these things
But
before
the bigger
you can
your
get
roles
paid.
get, the more net worth you're worth. You want to have an academy or somebody to, you know, represent you.
Okay.
And you want to be a part of that because, granted, you might be one of the lucky few that might be a kid on the street who they'd be like, wow, you have like huge potential. You know, I really like. Well, let's say Tom Holland. Tom Holland's one of them. It's a theater kid that was in ballet. I mean, and he got snagged up, you know, and he met the right people, and now he's part of the academy. But the thing is like you can't win like the Academy Award or anything like that. Even if your movie's great, you can't go to those big events. Like it's a big deal. I mean, one of the old heads of the Academy is Denzel Washington, and as I said before, he's like the grandfather, you know, one of the founding fathers, especially for black men and just the black community in general when it comes to acting. You know, he understands it, and I really loved the fact that he talked to Will about it. And I'm pretty sure he probably had. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they had some more words. I'm pretty sure Denzel Washington, you know, Sean Combs, all of them put Chris Rock and Will Smith in a room, and I'm pretty sure they talked it out. I mean, obviously, you know.
I think they did. I think there was video or something like them after the fact, like in the back end of the Oscars or whatever it is, talking.
Right, it was like right before the after party type thing. Yeah,
they were talking.
You know, they talked it out, and like when Will knows the gravity of the situation, and he made that move. Now, the thing that I don't think he deserves, and I hope they don't do, is taking his award away. That his work as an actor has nothing to do with what happened on stage. Like he needs to be rewarded. It was his first Oscar. That's, to me, that's childish as hell if they try to pull some stuff like that, because that's like a parent taking their kid's like PlayStation away if they do bad. You know, it's just the dumbest junk ever. You don't take somebody's lifelong commitment to the art. Right?
It's the same thing. It's the same thing with like when Reggie Bush lost the Heisman, and like all those trophies getting taken. It happened. Yeah. Like you can't get rid of it at that point.
Right. Violence is not the answer. Will was wrong. I mean, he was wrong for putting his hands on him. He wasn't wrong for what he said. Simple as that. Chris Rock has a history of talking smack about Jada and Will, like constantly. He uses them at the butt of his jokes all the time. They talked to him before about how they don't want him doing that. He still does it. So
yeah, that's the thing that I think a lot of people don't. Sorry, that's that I think a lot of thing that has to be like put out there. That is, it's not just like one random joke. They've been a butt of his jokes for a while. I mean, regardless of the situation, they've had that conversation before, and big stage. Yeah.
I mean, and not only, he said in front of the world, and not only that, there's only so much people can take before it gets under their skin. And
very, very true.
Real, I don't think violence is the answer, blah, blah, blah. Agreed. But if my wife has a condition and you say some shit and it really gets to me, I don't know what I would do in that situation. A lot of emotions are playing over. You're not thinking clearly. You're like, I told this dude over and over again, I say nothing. And I mean, the next step was to slap him in his face. I mean, it could have been worse. Could have been a punch. Could have been a fight. I mean, so I applaud Chris Rock for handling it well afterwards. I thought that was very commendable for him. I applaud Will for apologizing and talking it out, because at the end of the day, they're all brothers. They're all in the same, not physical brothers, but, you know, brothers of the art. And they all suffer from the same damn thing. Media loves seeing, and I'm going to say this is going to be a racially profiled thing. Media loves seeing black men, especially, fight black men on all standpoints. Media loves that shit. It's drama, man. They don't, when a black actor of that standpoint, you don't hear Denzel Washington in the news unless he's doing a movie. He's just not in it because he knows how to handle those situations. But the younger crowd, granted Will is in his 50s, they end up being in the news for something. The only time you really hear from these cats is if they're making a movie or they slap somebody. Unfortunately, Will slapped 2 people, you know, and that's what people know him for, instead of remembering all the good stuff that he's done. So it's a sticky situation. He's going through a lot. Granted, you do put your business out there when you're a celebrity. You're watched by all eyes, and the red table talk that Jada has doesn't help the situation, because, you know, she willingly puts her business, but that's her call to put business out on herself. So all those people that are going around saying like, oh, she said it, that she had that condition, she shouldn't have said it, she want nobody. That ain't it, you know. So it's all a big mess, but it was already handled. You know, Will is very apologetic. He knows he was wrong for putting his hands on him, and that's it. You know, I think it's a lesson learned. I bet Chris Rock won't talk about them now. You know, so it's just like, you know, message was sent and delivered, and unfortunately, it costed him the Academy, and unfortunately, we won't see Will Smith in the MCU probably. Maybe we will. I don't know. You know.
Did you see? Speaking of lessons learned, you gotta love the internet. Did you see all the memes coming out of it? Like, imagine it not being Chris Rock, but it being The Rock, like The Rock Johnson. Did you see all those memes coming out of it?
Yeah.
Oh my God, those were funny. I mean,
it's a lot.
You gotta laugh at that. It was that.
Well, also heard the award Chris was there to present to Quest. It took all the air out of the great accomplishment about Black culture. Man,
kudos to Quest. That was awesome, though.
Quest was very emotional, and I don't think the emotion was dialed down. I felt like the moment I saw the Quest and I didn't even think about Will Smith and Chris Rock. I don't think anybody was focused on that. So a lot of people were saying that. I don't think people were. I think people were focused on the Quest. Granted, he was just overly emotional, and it was just great seeing that happen. You know, especially a black man on SNL. Like that's huge, man. Like to get an award on that standpoint, and it was very touching to see. But I didn't think about Will Smith slapping anybody at all after that. I was like, hey, Will Smith slapped him. He stood up there. He did a speech. He deserves his award, and that's it. You know. I was in my head. I'm like, they're grown men. They'll handle it. You know, Sean Combs said something. Denzel said something. PR agent said something. Chris understood. Like it's. We can't sit there, and I'm just saying this on the outside looking in. We can't really judge anybody, because we don't know what we would have done in that situation. You could say what you think you would have done, but when you're in the heat of it and you're going through what that man's going through and his wife is going through, their family's going through, you never know what you would have done, you know? So my heart goes out to Will Smith and Chris Rock, and I hope that they work things out, and I hope they don't take his award away, because I think that'd be bullshit. But at the end of the day, I know this is a comic show, but it does have to do with the comic world. I mean, these are actors that have potential to be in the MCU or even in DC films, because Will Smith was a part of, unfortunately, Suicide Squad. So at the end of the day, both grown-ass men were wrong. Both grown men took very grown leaps in growth. Whether it was a step back or a step forward, they both learned from it. And at the end of the day, that's the biggest accomplishment. Will's taken a very... I don't think he should have resigned from the Academy. I think he should have just taken whatever
punishment or whatever
it given, besides taking his award away. I don't think that would have been fair, but I think he should have just waited. But he's going through a lot of emotions, and maybe a break will help resolve those emotions. You know, much love to everybody in that world. But here we go.
That was what was that, Sunday night? Yeah, I think that was Sunday night. I think it was either Saturday or Sunday night, and then since then, in our world, obviously a bunch of stuff occurred. You know, as far as the comics go, the comic world goes. For those of you who have Disney Plus, obviously on this past Wednesday, so 2 or 3 days ago, we had Moon Knight release. So if you haven't seen that, go out and see it. The first episode was about 46 minutes long. It doesn't feel like 46 minutes. My eyes were glued watching it the entire time. We'll talk about that here in a couple of minutes. Of course, we had Morbius release officially yesterday on April 1st. Franken said it before, the April Fool's movie heard around the world. Bunch of things going on in the actual comic world itself with Spider-Man. Ben Reilly and Peter Parker finally face off. Obviously, Wolverine has been in the news a lot, which in the comic news, which leads into what Frank's been saying for the past couple of weeks with what's going on in the comics. Hashtag MCU. Big Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle fan. We're going to talk about The Last Ronin, what's going on with them over there. In addition to a bunch of other things. I can't really think of anything video game related right now, personally. I know we talked about Gotham Knights getting a release date in October on our last episode. Gotham Knights is getting its own show on HBO Max. That's actually something that's there. Also, actually, you know what? Here's a spoiler alert, which I didn't learn from Spider-Man if you haven't seen it already. Not a spoiler alert, but word to the wise. If you want to go see Morbius, if you're an MCU fan, if you're a Star Wars fan, stay off of TikTok. Just stay off of TikTok. I don't know how they do it.
For what?
I don't know how they do it, but Morbius, the 2 post-credit scenes are all over TikTok. I personally don't mind for personal reasons about getting it spoiled, because I don't think I'm going to see the movie after everything I've seen and I've heard about it, especially how the post-credit scenes just hurt my brain for many reasons, but we won't go into it yet for those that want to see it. But Star Wars fans, there is a Obi-Wan Kenobi series leaked fight scene, leaked somehow. Stay off of TikTok. Stay off of TikTok.
I'm not really on TikTok.
So,
I do more Instagram scrolling than TikTok anyway. So whatever.
Yeah, but where do we want to start though? I mean, I know there's a lot of stuff we can go on. I
mean, let's talk about a big elephant in the room, and it's called Morbius.
Woo! Disgusting one.
So apparently, if you watch the trailer, that's the movie.
That too.
Like, what the freak?
Man, we have gone back and forth on Morbius for a while now, saying, "Oh, it's the pandemic." We saw the first couple of trailers. You were even like, "Man, after seeing the first couple of trailers, I'm kind of interested now. This looks good."
Yeah.
Not so much right now.
Yeah.
My God.
I think I read like there's a person that I follow. They're artists and they do art for comics, and they were the first ones I see put a review out. And at first I was like, because they were like, the tears, the fight scenes, the plot. I just, because they started like, I just saw Morbius, and it looked like it was like hype. And then they were like, it's the absolute most abysmal movie I've ever seen in my whole entire life. And they were like, and I am being lighthearted about it. I was like, what?
Oh no.
And then I look at the reviews and Rotten Tomatoes. Oh my God. It's almost going down in history as the worst rated movie.
Sony themselves.
Actually, it is the most. Yeah, actually it did win so far.
So it released with a 20% Rotten Tomato score, but it has
like
been
16 right now, right?
It's been going down. I think yesterday I saw it at some point 18, I want to say.
I saw it at 16.
It's at 17 yesterday. Right now. Sorry, it's at 17 right now.
So tomato went up a percent.
And it's only at 67 audience score. So the audience is giving it a little bit. Yeah, it's giving it a little bit. The audience is giving it a little bit more. They're not panning it as much as critics.
At one point, right?
But still, that's not good. I mean,
no.
You go from Venom, Let There Be Carnage, to Spider-Man No Way Home, to Morbius. The only way to explain this is Sony themselves. Like, you just you can't get out of your own way, man, with this stuff. And
there won't be any spoilers for Moon Knight. We do spoiler free. We don't do spoilers until like a week or two after.
Yeah, we try.
When it comes to episodes.
Yeah, because
so you're fine, Lars.
We come out hot off the presses of it, so we like to stay about a week ahead of it. So like we'll do like a non-spoiler review of it.
Yeah, it'll be
and then next week will be a spoiler of episode 1, then 2 will be the following week, and so on.
Yeah.
So on and so forth. But yeah, man, that's. Yep. I heard it's like 2 separate movies because the plots and the story are just completely
different.
Out of there.
It's like. So you can tell that movie went through filming issues, like big pauses, because it was like whoever was directing it forgot what the movie was and started a new one.
Oh, I gotta go back to this. Oh wait, hold on. They sunk. So if you go back and watch the original trailer for it when it first came out, that is the CGI that's in like 90% of the movie apparently. There's only 1 or 2 scenes where the CGI is really, really, really good. But after that, it is horribly shoddy CGI. And it sucks, man, because I'll be able to say I'm not, knee deep or neck deep into Morbius. I know about the character. I know his connections with certain characters within Marvel and his backstory, obviously. But I'm not like head over heels for it. Like, I didn't know a lot about Moon Knight, and then I dug into it. Morbius, I really didn't for some reason. But this seems like a character, especially where it seems like where the MCU is going. I know this is Sony, but where the MCU is going, it should fit in pretty well. But it just got they Sony'd themselves, man. I don't know how else to explain. I mean, I love Jared Leto as an actor. Oh, I'm gonna say this again. Matt Smith, the Doctor, he is an amazing actor, but he has been stuck into 2 back-to-back horrible U.S. movies: Terminator Genesis, and now this. This man is such a good actor, but he hasn't had an opportunity to really open himself and grow himself here in the States because of 2 horrible movies that he's been tied himself with.
How do you turn down like a Marvel movie though? Like Marvel movie.
I know.
It's a Sony movie, but you know, you're like, oh, I could be a part of this universe. Shit, if I do good. I don't think we're gonna be seeing Morbius for a long time. After this, I think this is a one shot. Sony typically gauges their success off of how well their movies do, and if they're going to continue or not. And I don't think this is going to make it. It sucks because it's a great character. It's a fantastic character. It's actually one of the most important characters in Spider-Man. When it comes to Peter Parker's growth as a character.
Why? Why?
Oh, I mean, multiple things. Peter Parker had a disease. In the original Spider-Man, the Amazing Spider-Man, he actually gets a disease to where his mutations keep going out of key.
Was that the one where he gets the arms and everything?
Yeah. And Morbius's like scientific revelation and even his blood and some mixture, and Dr. Connors is involved, and they were able to kind of revert Peter Parker to his original state, because Peter Parker was turning into a monster spider or a man spider, so to speak. Also,
not a Spider-Man, a man spider.
Yeah. Also, Morbius has his own like very dark storyline, and it kind of coincide with Blade and all the supernatural arc to Marvel, which is really cool. And we'll get into that with Moon Knight because we're talking about supernatural arc. And it kind of, like I said, it kind of just bowls into the development of Spider-Man and how he handles villains from that point on. And not every villain is a quote unquote bad evil person. They just get dealt the wrong card. And it's very relatable to him what Morbius goes through, because they're kind of on the same standpoint, and he knows how to deal with people like that. Instead of making him like you're a monster and you kill people and this, that, and the other, Peter Parker's technically killed people too. So it's like being hated by everyone is something he can relate to, and it has him grow as a character. So it sucks that we don't get to see a live action version of this and where they would go with it with the Amazing Spider-Man 3 if that's coming out. But I will say there has been, but granted, we don't believe crap that Andrew Garfield says at all anymore, but he said, and he confirms, that he's not in talks with Sony about Spider-Man at all. Actually, the rumor is Tobey Maguire is in talks with them
and
for
Andrew
continuing.
Garfield. And Andrew Garfield too.
Well, Andrew Garfield said that he's not in talks with doing another Spider-Man. That came out of his mouth, but we don't trust anything.
We know he knows how to lie.
Yeah. His gig is up, but I mean, obviously, you don't say that you are until you are. But anyway, so the worst thing I read about this movie was that we could have just watched the trailer and got the whole bit of the movie.
Yeah,
that's it. Like they said that this whole movie could have been summed up in a 2-minute trailer.
Yep. And also the trailer.
What the critics said.
Oh, and the trailer. The trailer was the best part of the movie, and they said that like there are certain things in the trailer that would have excited you for the movie that aren't there. They completely cut it from the film or used it later on for something else that just, once again, made no sense.
Wow.
It's hard to. They talked about it. So did you hear they talked about the post, the like Lars said, the actual director and Sony marketed the film like the past couple of days with talking about the post-credit scene. Did you know that? Did you hear about that? Dude, they went full ham. They went full ham with it. Like the director, like, because on media tour and like everything. Yeah, because on Wednesday it started to come out like these post-credit scenes make no sense. What the hell are they doing? This makes no sense. And the director, I think, came out, and Lars, because you said it, or anyone else in chat, correct me if I'm wrong. It was either Wednesday or I think it was Thursday. He started to say stuff into Friday as well, and they started really promoting it along those lines. Like, hey, yeah, this is what's happening. This is our idea. This is how we plan for the future of the Sony Sony Spider-Verse, whatever the hell they're calling it, outside of the MCU. And it's. Oh God, it literally makes no sense. And how Marvel signed off on any of this stuff is beyond me. because it's that
they
stupid.
want Spider-Man.
Yeah, okay, yeah, the director full on spoiled them. Yep, there you go. The director literally full on spoiled the two post-credit
he probably
scenes.
knew that the movie was so bad that nobody was gonna really pay attention to it. That's sad because that just gives me no hope for Madam Web.
Yeah.
Period. I don't even want to see it.
And there's footage of Craven out there right now, because they're filming in, I think, the UK right now. And no, he does not. Aaron Taylor Johnson, I think is his name. I can't remember. Like just no. He looks nothing like Craven. You can't get past him being Quicksilver and old and kick-ass. Like I can't get, like, he just isn't Craven. You need this bigger, brawlier, older looking, like Russian guy to play him, or someone that can like portray that. He can't do it.
Who's the guy that did the dude that did Deathstroke for Arrow, the show Arrow?
Oh,
he would have been great.
He was in Spartacus. I can't pronounce his name, but it's like Manu Benet or something. Benet, or
something like that. He would have been dope because he looks like Craven. Like I was saying that the whole time. I was like, holy shit.
Yes, he does.
Not only him. I mean, I would have taken Jason Momoa.
Yeah,
it would have been good. Jason Momoa. Yeah, Jason Momoa could have pulled that off really well, actually. Yeah, because dude,
it's Craven.
Oh my god,
that's like him being He-Man back in the day, bro.
Just think about, like, Game of Thrones. That pretty much made Jason Momoa pretty famous.
Yeah, that was
they could have just used that character. I mean, at the end of the day, he was vicious, man. I was like, damn, man, But I don't know, man. Sony just needs to sign all the rights over to Marvel and just take money. At the end of the day, see, this is the problem with Sony Pictures, I feel, or Columbia Pictures or whatever, is the fact that when they see a success on one side of the spectrum, they think that they can make their grass green as well. And they always typically go too far with it. They don't understand that what the missing parts that they need to the machine, the well-oiled machine, is what Marvel has. And that's called dedication to the craft. And not only that, research. And people that actually just love comics working on it, and the actors loving comics. Come on, man. Leto. I don't know what goes on in Leto's life, but I can't see him like being super into what he's doing.
He doesn't seem to be that type of guy. Where you wouldn't have thought originally Benedict Cumberbatch, right? But then it's like it actually makes sense. He is, because Sherlock Holmes. He's reading up on it, like he's going into the stores while they're filming to get comic books, and like they're loving it. Now, whether that's
what I'm saying, it's a different,
like, whether that's the Marvel kind of like fairy dust instead of the Sony fairy dust. Like, I can't think of the words I want to use. Like maybe that's it. I don't know. It just seems like anything Sony comic book related since Spider-Man 2 came out, everything past Spider-Man 2, Tobey Maguire Spider-Man 2, has just not hit.
And that suffered from really bad CGI. Even Spider-Man 2. And like I even noticed it back then, and I really notice it now. But it's just like,
but at least I feel like storytelling, acting, like at least that part of it was good.
Yeah, that was good.
Everything past that was just god.
It's just I feel like Sony just takes too many shortcuts. And it's like they're so desperate to make Spider-Man work for them that they're just willing to just throw anything up to a wall, and whatever sticks, they're happy. But the problem is they need Kevin Feige. They need Marvel to really do the back labor. And all Sony needs to do is provide money and just take it. Like that's what I feel.
Sony and Marvel need to get into a real, not just Spider-Man, but real contractual relationship where Marvel comes in and they write, they get the director, but Sony's just producing and they make it. Or this is so going back to it, because we're on the Rare Drop Network. I love watching and listening, to Star Wars and Scotch, and I didn't realize this, but Kevin brought it up. K Magic, he brought up that there was one point at the beginning of the pandemic. They had a shit ton of subscribers for Disney Plus because of Frozen. Frozen wasn't coming out in theaters. They did it on Disney Plus, and they made something like $36 billion in 1 month.
More than they would make in a movie.
Because of parents going, hell no, we're doing this, right? So it's like, I said that to say this, they got to buy him at this point, or buy back the rights for it instead of
but
just
see,
buying
Sony is
Sony.
so, I'm telling you, man, the thing is it's the money, bro. Like Sony tasted that Marvel money, and they are going to like literally hold out until the day's end, because they know that if Marvel gets Spider-Man, where's the relationship go for Sony? Where's that money? Bye bye. Like,
Yeah, where's that money for? So, but at the same time, where's the money? Period for them. So outside of Spider-Man, I mean,
they ain't getting it.
I'm also.
They just sign off.
What else do they do?
They need to really just. I don't think Sony needs to not get involved. I don't want to see Columbia Pictures go away. I really want to see them like thrive. But I think they need to let Marvel do the heavy lifting and just fund. Money. They just need to fund.
Produce. That's executive it. Produce. Just
just fund it, man. Like what they did with Homecoming and stuff. Granted, Sony put their finger in the pot a little bit more when it came to the last Spider-Man movie, but again, it was like, here, Marvel, do your magic. We're gonna rake in the money and we'll cut you off a piece. You get to use my character. We get to borrow your character. Then we'll go back and forth with each other, and that was a beautiful relationship. But then they had to let's give the benefit of the doubt. Like Morbius has been.
Yeah, when was that supposed to originally come out? That's a great point.
2 years ago? I want to say 2 years ago. 2 years ago, this movie might have done better, because I think people's patience would have been a lot better. Because right now, with the pandemic and everything, when movies releasing kind of slow, I think people just don't have the patience to put up with bullcrap movies. That should have been a Disney, like a Paramount or whatever the heck Sony puts there, a Sony Plus. It should have been a Sony Plus movie. Honestly, I think it would have made more money from the subscriptions than made money from the movie itself. But they're gonna be put in a hole, man. I don't think they're gonna make back their money from what they spent on this movie. But then again, it doesn't look like they spent a lot of money on the movie, and that's another thing. It's like, I feel like Marvel goes all out. What, 2019?
Filming was confirmed to have been completed in June 2019.
Yep.
Holy crap. I didn't realize it was that long gone. This movie has been done.
Yep.
Wow. So 2019. So I think it was originally a 2020 release. So it had to have been 2 years, I would probably say.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we could say pandemic, because that was heavy pandemic time too.
Well,
but,
true, yeah.
I mean, that doesn't give an excuse, because there were so many Marvel movies that came out around that time that was just godlike good. You know, even like Disney Plus, they should have just gave the movie over to Marvel and let them fill in the blanks. I mean, I don't know. I honestly think it was too soon for a villain movie of that stature. When they had Venom, they still need to work on Venom. Is horrible.
I still haven't
in a
seen
horrible
it.
state. I don't feel like it's in a good state at all. I feel like
Carnage.
Carnage, because of Carnage. They needed to Sony needs to slow down and like concentrate on what they have and really build out of it. I think they could do a better job with Venom. It's not like it was, unbearable and not being able to be saved. They can save Venom because people like Tom Hardy. They can save Venom, and they can just really start investing in the comic books and really researching it. Kevin Feige and his team on it, and like come together and say, how do we make Venom better? Because I'm gonna tell you right now, Sony definitely does not, as much as I love Spider-Verse, the animation, they do not have the CGI team Marvel has at all.
Oh, hell no.
They need to use that CGI team, because Venom still, I laugh every time. He looks like a Photoshop piece of mess, man. I think it's so bad. Every time I see him shifting the Venom, I'm just like, no, please don't do it. You look horrible. Like, just don't.
And it's not even, like, even though the face is Venom, I mean, one of Venom's, like, he doesn't even have the logo. Yeah. Like, it's...
Well, it's because he hasn't met Spider-Man yet.
But yeah, true. But they have the hive mind and it's just
it's a mess.
But that's where it is. It's a mess. Like, why? It's just you're.
They should have did Spider-Man. They should have did Amazing Spider-Man 3 first, then had Venom introduced, and then go with Venom. That's how it should went.
It's literally like I'm a Sony executive. It's like, all right, Spider-Man's doing good. Thank you, Marvel. We're gonna go off and do this and throwing stuff. Yep. Okay, it landed on Venom. Let's go. What can we do? What can't we do with it? It's like, come on, man.
Every hope that people had for Sony probably just got blown out the window when it came to Spider-Verse. Because, I was like, Madam Web, okay. But we're doing this backwards. But okay. I was like, whatever. But I think they should have they did Andrew Garfield absolutely wrong. They should have gave him his third movie. They should have introduced Venom in his third movie, then moved on to Venom, then introduced Morbius, and that stuff would have been a great timeline, because
they just jumped the shark on everything.
And then we would have had No Way Home.
No Way
Is
Home.
that it?
No
Yeah,
Way Home.
Then
Was
we would
last
have
one.
No Way Home, and it would have made so much more sense.
Yep.
Everything would have been in threes. Tobey Maguire had 3. Andrew had 3. Tom has 3. The multiverse would have made sense. It would have made sense to continue with Andrew Garfield if you wanted to, or whatever. Everything would have fit right in a nice little glass jar, and all they had to do was pick from it when they wanted to. But no, it's like when Sony sees money, they're like, "Ooh, we got to do a Craven film, even though nobody really knows a shit about Craven. We got to do this. We don't introduce anybody correctly. Let's put Carnage in it because people love Carnage." Anyway. The fact that we got Carnage in film 2 really scared me. I was like, why though? Why is Carnage even being introduced in the film's credits? Like, why? We're not ready for that. Carnage is a huge villain. You don't just poop him out and get rid of him. Like, just don't. Anyway.
Yeah,
whatever.
Sony. I mean, that's actually a great point. Sony does have so many other properties and revenue areas, whether it's PlayStation, whether it's film. So it's not like Disney necessarily has to buy.
But those
Sony.
are different sections of Sony, though.
Yeah, but that's also different. But it's still under one umbrella. Like they'll still be making a ton of money. So like what I guess I'm saying is maybe Marvel, the Overlord Mouse doesn't need to buy.
Not Sony.
Sony,
I don't think they need to
just
buy
need
Sony.
to buy the rights back to the Spider.
Yes. They need to give them whatever they want. I don't give a crap. Is it $40 billion? Just give it to them.
You're gonna make it back in more.
They're gonna make that back in the movie.
Yep, exactly, bro. Exactly.
The history is there.
Dude, you're gonna make that. You're gonna make it back and more with freshman year. The cartoon series coming out in the next year and two, because that's not just for you and me. That's for kids too. Like it's you know how much it's gonna make so much money, man.
Yeah, and I think the biggest problem is that Kevin Feige and what's her name? Sarah? No, not Sarah.
The girl from Sony, Amy.
Peggy.
Wait, the girl from Sony, the crazy haired girl, wasn't it Amy Pascal or Pasquale?
Amy Pascal, yes, Amy. They're best friends. I think at the end of the day, that's a thing. Like, how would their friendship be?
Hey, best friend, I'm gonna give you a shit ton of money.
I mean, honestly, I would think that she needs to just join Disney.
Yeah, just have him come over. Like, I don't.
Yeah, because she seems to really love that. Like, she seems to love the atmosphere of MCU, and they're always together and always in offices. They really need to put their heads together and really make this work. I think having so many iterations of these different builds of like the same world is just a little too much for me. And I mean, the multiverse is there, but I think if we keep excusing the multiverse, we're instead of having like the ultimate universe, the amazing universe, and whatever, we're going to end up having the shit universe and the good universe. So I don't. It's the same thing with DC. But speaking of which, and this is gonna be a little off tangent, but Wimp said the reason why Sony plus MCU works is because Sony gets out of their way and let Marvel Studios. Yeah, exactly. Let Marvel Studios do 100%. Their work. Yeah, I agree. Where was I going with this? Shoot.
DC. You were just about to talk about DC, and they have to get out of their way. That's why DC.
James Gunn.
Yes.
So James Gunn said that this iteration of direct quote from him, I can't give you the direct the exact words, but I know it came from him. He said that this iteration of the Guardians of the Galaxy is his best work yet.
Oh, so nice!
His best work yet, and he's super excited for it. And that's a huge turnaround from the way he was talking Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Yeah.
So maybe Marvel was like, yo, James, we understand that you want to do what you want to do with DC, this, that, and the other. Here's your baby, man. Take it by the reins. So yeah, let me see if I can find that direct quote. Let's see.
Oh, so I think I found it.
Okay.
But it actually isn't Guardians of the Galaxy 3. The holiday special is the greatest thing I've ever done in my life. It's totally ridiculous, and every day we can't believe that we're making it. We all completely love it. It is unlike anything that anyone's ever seen before. I can't wait for people to see it, and it's out pretty soon, meaning this winter. It's out this Christmas. It's not like people have to wait long. That was a quote from this. Oh, actually, it was a couple of days ago. It was the 26th. James Gunn says Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special is the greatest thing he's ever done, which is wild. Yeah.
Maybe it was that because because at there's another part of Guardians of the Galaxy 3, and he's just talking about how much he loves the cast and loves everybody there, and he loved working with them, blah blah blah. Okay, yeah. Sorry, had the things to mix up. They mentioned them both in the same.
Wait, Gunn has teased
Whoa.
2 other DC TV projects. He's actually working on 2 other ones. I know he had another one that they didn't really know what was going off. John Cena's Peacemaker got lit for a second season, but there's another one he's working on. I mean, listen,
Bro,
just throw him
DC
money.
is
DC
in a
at
point
this
now.
point. Damn.
Yeah, they're at the point now where they just want the stuff to work, man. I don't blame them. I feel like that's what Sony needs to do.
Actually, I mean, good job for them, right? Because they've had 3 good things in a row: the Suicide Squad quote unquote reboot with him, Peacemaker, and now the Batman. I mean, the only complaints that I've been hearing about the Batman was that it's 3 hours long. I mean, there are little other critiques here and there, but it's made a lot of money for them, and they're greenlighting a lot of stuff for it. So they're actually, knock on wood. Oh, that's what it was with DC. That's what I wanted to say, video game. It was officially, I'm total complete other end of the spectrum. My tangent on DC video games. So though we got Gotham Knight's official release date for this year, October 25th, 2022, we talked about it a couple of weeks ago that even though it wasn't officially announced, it is happening. But now it was officially announced by Rocksteady Studios that early 2023 for Justice League Suicide Squad killed the Justice League.
Squad.
Excuse me. Yeah.
Cross our fingers. Are you guys gonna do Batman spoilers? We can. Yeah, we can. I think we did a really good review, unspoiler review, but we can talk about some things. Somebody made a comment. Oh, Craven. Yes, Elmwood. I agree with you. Craven doesn't really get a lot of love in the comic book world. He's kind of like, he's at a difficult crossroads. Also, the character is very difficult because you don't know where to label Craven. You just don't know where to label him. And I feel like Sony likes to hit these characters that a lot of people aren't really focused on, so they can do whatever they want with them.
Right.
And then they end up ruining it, and then people know about those characters in a negative light, and it sucks. They're so the thing about Sony, I'm gonna get off this because we can talk about this all day, is that Sony likes to prey upon people's hype. Venom is a hype character, and instead of slowly introducing that character, they throw it out, and they did it in every like Spider-Man, like Spectacular Spider-Man, or Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, and they're doing it now. So they're just gonna just pooping out whatever they feel that's going to build hype and bring people in the theater. They don't care how well the movie does. Like once you pay the money, money's paid. Like that's
like
how they feel.
seems. Look at what they did with Venom in Spider-Man: The Insomniac Spider-Verse. They teased him twice in during / the middle of Spider-Man, the original one with Peter Parker, and then the Miles Morales one with the end credit scene again. And the way they teased him it was more than a tease, right? With the trailer that came out a couple of months ago.
Yeah. I mean, you can hear him.
And you see him. They're doing it
like
right. Yeah.
I feel like that is the way you do it. Instead of preying on people's hype, you build on the hype, and then you already do it to a credible source, which is, Spider-Man video games are godlike. Insomniac knows what they're doing when it comes to the video game stuff. But anyway, moving on. We're going to have a non-spoiler section of Moon Knight. So this is non-spoiler. Don't worry if you're listening or you're watching. You're not going to, believe me, I was half asleep half the time. Not saying that it was bad. It was very late for me. It was like 2 o'clock in the morning when I was watching because I wanted to be able to absorb something at least to talk about today. I'll say this. I'll get my quick little piece on it. I don't remember everything to the T detailed wise about the story, so to speak, but I feel like they're in the right direction with it. The CGI is great. It is actually really freaking good. Like, I was super surprised how well they did with the CGI. It's got a certain swag to it that doesn't feel like an original Marvel movie, which I dig because it's in like Europe and
it's in the UK. It's not in the US. It's set somewhere else. And it's nice. And the side actors, like the people that you don't know that got hired to play a character are great. Donna.
They're really freaking good. Like the background people were so good, especially the person that he works for. I loved her. She was such a biatch.
She's awesome. There's always a Donna. She was really good. Yep.
She's like that boss that you don't want to disappoint, but you can't stand at the same time. And it's so good. So definitely pay attention to her because she really deserves her credits. And just the whole situation. They even got some actors that you notice that are playing like security guards. It's like
Yeah.
Not
Yep.
not like people that you grab off the street, but people that you actually know. I'm just like, what the heck? So you kind of question in your head, like, are they gonna be something later on? Like, what's really going on? What's his name that plays the main baddie in this? I forgot his name.
Arthur Harrow's the bad guy, and it's
so nice
Ethan
to see
Hawke.
him again.
Ethan Hawke, yeah, it's really nice to see Ethan Hawke.
It's so nice to see him again.
I don't remember when I saw him last.
Bro, a long time ago. But he didn't age. The dude
he doesn't look bad, yeah.
No, he looks great. He looks like he's in shape, and like he prepared for this, and he's very creepy. He's very creepy.
Did you hear the story about how he got introduced to this role and coming on? So he never really had a thought about getting into the MC or whatnot, but during the height of the pandemic, apparently he was walking on the streets going to get a bagel or a slice of pizza. I forget which one it was in New York City. And he ran into Oscar Isaac, but they knew who each other were, even though they were wearing a mask. And Oscar was telling him about this role, and he's like, "You would be great for this role. You may want to talk to your agent about it." And like, that's crazy how like he was thinking about him off the rip, and you get that chemistry when they first meet, and even later on in the episode. Like that's a cool story, and you feel and see it in that first episode.
Yeah. You thought CGI was bad? Yeah, I feel like anyway, like you can disagree, man. It's like, it's so cool. If you like, I don't, where did you think the CGI was bad? That's what I want to know.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but the only 3 scenes where I remember there was CGI, there was only 4, and there was only 4 small scenes with it.
There was the attack.
There was the old lady. You get to see her briefly. There was the jaw. And then the last scene, the scene we all saw in the trailer, the big reveal. Like that was the only things that I remember seeing.
Because the attack at the end was probably the longest CGI, but it wasn't. I felt like it was a normal Marvel CGI. I don't know.
The car chase scene wasn't bad CGI. I mean, you kind of knew that one thing was a CGI because you can't fake that. Like it needs to be CGI, but like I thought it was. I mean, listen.
I don't know. I thought it was good. I think the world building is really good around this character, because this character's, honestly, I feel like a lot of things are on purpose too, because this character's world, he doesn't know what, without spoiling, he doesn't know what. Oh, that scene, I thought that scene was fine. I mean, how else do you
didn't see anything? You didn't see anything.
Yeah, like it was
quick, and that was it.
I thought the atmosphere was creepy. And yeah, they only did snippets of that. And I thought it was pretty good. But anyway, at the end of the day, his world is he doesn't know reality from anything, like the dream world. He is caught in this back and forth with trying to figure out what is real and what's not real. He doesn't even know what's happening half the time. He's in disbelief and he's in denial. He actually, he knows what's happening deep down inside, but he keeps denying it because there's a point where he protects himself, or he sets himself up for what could possibly happen because of the fact that he keeps waking up in different locations, or something of like that is happening to him. He wakes up with bruises. He don't know what the heck is going on. So he's like, maybe I'm sleepwalking, but he doesn't know reality from the dream world. And I feel like that on purpose feel about a lot of things, like people showing up where he doesn't know if that's a real person or not. And if it's just visions and, this, that, and the other happening. I feel like that constant paranoia and that anxiety plays really well into what they're trying to deliver with this character, because we're in his head most of the time. And I think people don't understand that. I think people are just thinking like another Marvel film, but it's not, or another Marvel show. It's not 100% the case. We're inside this person's head a lot of the time, and we're seeing what he's going through. We're actually we're kind of POVing him, and it's supposed to be. And also, if you read the comics, the Moon Knight they're a little ridiculous.
Moon Knight the character, and Moon Knight the comics, like they dive into some very deep and interesting things. I mean, you get the tone of what this is going to be right off the rip. I like with the beginning, it wasn't really rolling credits, but the beginning scenes leading up to story, you get to see what Ethan Hawke is all about and what he does with his slippers and the glass. I mean, this is not going to be a PG Christian Minecraft, MC show. I mean, it's going to dive into some crazy stuff. I mean,
it gets very culty, which we don't really see. in this and fun fact, when I signed on to Disney Plus last night, I had to accept TVMA
There you go.
settings, so that we might be seeing a little bit more.
Well,
They
because
didn't
of
show the fight scene
because
in the
of
truck, so to
that
speak.
and the Punisher, and it's
Yeah.
for all that
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
but
yeah, yeah, all that stuff.
they're going in
They
that
didn't-
direction. Yeah.
Without spoilers, they didn't show that fight scene because they're building up to something. They want the viewer to be as confused as the character. Like I said, we're watching his POV from the outside looking in. It's almost like we are how you dream sometimes, you can like have a out of body experience and see yourself, but you go through the motions of everything. That's technically what we're doing. It's like we're being just as confused as he is. Instead of us knowing what's going on and the character not knowing, we are experiencing what he's going through and just as equally confused. That's why it worked that way. Because that's why that character is jacked up. Okay. So far we only got introduced to. We didn't get introduced to every personality, which is interesting. So far, it's only two. Aren't there three personalities? I believe there's three.
I mean, depending on how you cut the cake, there's two and a half, or three, because
right.
The other personality is technically both, but it's just bigger.
Right. It's the
culmination.
It's the Voltron. Let's just put it that way.
The Voltron.
Voltron. Yeah. So I'm hearing so it's like you have the components, you have the mega piece, but they're broken down into a triangle. So yeah, we're trying to do this as much as possible without spoiling, but I really like it. It reminded me a lot of Spawn. Like a whole lot of like just the what's going on type thing, and I like that. It made me, and I love the fact the swagger that they give Moon Knight, especially towards the end, like when you actually see what's up.
Yeah,
that was very comic booky, and a lot of people are not going to understand that. I don't think people are going to accept that. They're going to be like, why did he walk off like that? Why did he act like that at the end? Because that is Moon Knight. Moon Knight is swaggy, baby. And we're gonna see it when the episodes go on. I thought this episode was a very ballsy opening. A lot happens, and it's a lot to take into where I have to rewatch it, honestly. Like I said, I watched it when I was half asleep, but I was into it. My wife was like sleepy, and she was like, I don't know, you can watch it. And she was wired, boy. She was way more into it than I was. So I have to rewatch it. And she was into it. She was like telling me like her theories and stuff, and I was like, oh yeah, yeah, I get it. I was just like trying not to sleep the whole time, but it's not saying, like I said, it was good enough to keep me up, but I was like, trying to like focus, but I was dog crap tired. But I think it's really good opening. It's not like, oh my god type of opening, so don't expect that. It's not Winter Soldier opening. You knew that you knew at the beginning how the pacing was going to be. This one is a discovery show, I feel, and we're gonna see this character kind of develop on, and it gives me a lot of hope, by the way, in the supernatural world of MCU. That's definitely getting built. There ain't no shape, form, or fashion why we have too much. We have Black Knight, we got Blade, we got Moon Knight, we got hopefully Wolverine coming into picture. Midnight Suns might be coming. They're already talking about Ghost Rider coming in. They already talked about that. We got Daredevil showing. They got some big stuff on Daredevil, like confirmations coming in, and it's supposed to be dark and gritty. My two favorite things. So I'm really excited where MCU is going right now. I feel like Disney is very sated, and I feel like they're just like, you guys know what you're doing. You're bringing in the big money. This is the biggest thing that this is the biggest money that Disney is seeing from any source right now. They're not making it in Pixar or nothing like that. They're not doing any, animated films that are just really coming down the pipeline that's blowing the charts like they used to do. Right now, it's all about those Marvel films, and that's what people look forward to. So, I'm really. No, yeah, the opening, I it felt like I was eating a dinner. Like there was a dinner plate set in front of me, and it had a lot of different variety of stuff, and I didn't know what I was gonna taste going in, but I was full by the end of the show. I was like, okay, I like where this is going. I can't wait to see more. It wasn't like, oh, Matt, I wasn't like texting him and like, oh my god, did you see? It was more like, I'm pretty happy about this. It's kind of like Boba Fett, right? It's like, okay, I see where it goes.
For a character that isn't the S tier, right?
Yeah, definitely not. No. Yeah,
You get the first episode definitely gives you
it gives you intrigue, right?
it gives you
Interested.
an intrigue, and it gives you a taste. It gives you definitely right off the riff an intrigue with what the hell is going on with this person. Why did he do that? And where is this going to go? Is this the bad guy?
Why
Is
did
this
he
good
do
guy?
that?
Yeah. And then obviously just the beginning scene then with Steven, how he's shackled up in bed, like what is going on here, and where is the tape coming from? And it's like a suspense. It's suspense wrapped up in a mystery, because you're trying to figure out what's going on with Steven along with Steven. And then you get like the horror aspect of it with the lights and the mirrors and the reflections. That's another thing too. When you
that
watch
was really
this
Sam
episode,
Raimi to me, man.
Yeah.
I was like, ooh, there's some Sam Raimi shit going on.
I think this is going to be I hope it's a theme throughout the next 5 episodes, the 6 in total. It's not everything is what it seems. Reflections, mirrors, like there was a scene towards the middle of the episode where he's outside talking to the statue man.
Who's a person, by the way.
So that scene is apparently upside down. It's filled from the reflection perspective, and you get to notice that at the end where a leaf drops on it. It doesn't drop on the ground. It drops up top. It's like, holy shit. Yep. Like if that is the theme of this, like that is incredible. But a casual viewer won't notice that. No, like I didn't notice it until someone brought it up afterwards, and I rewatched it. I'm like, holy shit, that's awesome.
Yeah.
It's so good.
I think the really good thing about this show is the fact that you need to rewatch it a couple of times, just like a Marvel film. Like I see myself watching a lot of Marvel films twice, because I go in with the blindfold on, not knowing try as much as I can, and just watch it from a casual viewer's perspective. And then I go in with a breakdowns perspective, and I find so much stuff that you ask yourself, why did that person do this? Oh, there's a scene, and this is not spoilers, just a scene where he messes with sand, and you know what I'm talking about, really early on, and you're like, so is this normal?
Oh, yes, I know what you're talking about.
He does something. I'm like, but he's in that one personality, like it's normal, Steven. And I'm just like, for a person that doesn't know what's going on, he knows a hell of a lot that's going on. Like, what is happening? And it's dealing with one of my most favorite things, and that's talking about Egyptians and Egyptian lore and stuff. So it's really fun. It's a fun thing. You probably have to watch it a couple of times, because I believe that show was made for you to be like, what the hell is going on? And we know that they have a really good what the hell is going on factor in the show due to Loki, because I asked myself that multiple times in Loki. I'm like, what the hell is going on? So I think they're trying to hone their craft, and I have high promise for Moon Knight. I really do.
Yeah, I do too. I like how this is going to be completely different.
We were just talking about Midnight Suns. Yep.
Yeah, I like how this is going to be completely different than any other Marvel show that we've seen thus far within the MCU, the current version of the MCU. Not talking about like the Defenders and all them on Netflix, because it really isn't like anything like it. I mean, even if you go Loki and What If, this is nothing like that. And if they're gonna tie it in the way I think they're gonna tie it in towards the end with those in between sections that Bites was talking about, like why did we just flash to here? If they're gonna bring up those sections somehow in the next episode or future episodes,
they're gonna explain it.
Oh, I'm in. I am so in.
They do each episode from a different perspective. Oh my god! Like,
yeah,
we get Mark on an episode, we get Steven, and then we get that'd be nasty, dude. That'd be so cool. So that's where I get my excitement from. I'm just like, oh my gosh, they have a whole sandbox playground right now, and it's however they build their sandcastles. I'm here for it. So I love it. I love that Marvel took a character that nobody really, really sat down to really get to know, because a lot of people just call him a fake Batman. But watching this, you'll know he's not really he's relatable to Batman at all.
He is, I understand the costume and the gadget. Like I feel that, I get that, but it's nowhere near it. I mean, he gets his power from the quote unquote moon god, which I don't know if March 30th was a full moon, I think. So perfect timing for Moon Knight to come out. And in the show, I believe they showed it a couple times. Like it was a crescent moon. It was like so.
Yes, they showed it a lot.
Yeah, so
actually.
like his powers are gonna come to be further along in the series, where probably he's at his full power towards the end, which would be insane. Yeah,
and why he has his own fan base. I thought there's a part in that show, and again, this is non-spoiler, where I got really freaked out. I don't like mobs of people. I'll just say that.
Dude,
and that freaked me out
that
multiple
was creepy,
times.
Man.
Like, oh my god! And Oscar Isaac's like ability to act that part.
That was awesome. That was awesome. That was so good.
Like, look at. So it just, you can tell when a actor loves their character and loves what they're doing, because they put the extra sauce in it, and this is sauce that you don't get on script. Okay. Like, this separates like amazing actors from decent actors, is when they go to extra mile, and you can tell that he went the extra mile so hard in so many different scenes. And the ability to change his accent, dude, I was like, damn, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Freaking good. And his pitches and tones, he's super. The dude can go voice acting, that's for sure.
But like, I was really happy. The good thing, you really feel for him. You really feel for Steven with the dinner scene. And like realization, like he knows something is up, but that dinner scene, you feel from him, you know what he is. He's apparently a vegan, and you just really feel for the character when he realizes and figures out the day, and it culminates to, okay, I'm just gonna let go, and we're gonna figure out what happens from here at the end. I love that. I love that, and I know a little bit about the character and where I think they're gonna go with it, but even getting to that point, it's going to be fun and exciting to get there, because it's going to be shown off visually in a unique way that honestly hasn't been done before. And
especially for a TV series. And on top of that, my God, dude, again, movie budget, it had to be, because those different location changes and like how, I don't know, man, they blew up a lot of shit. A lot of stuff was happening in that. It felt like two shows in one, honestly. Definitely go watch it. I actually loved the jaw scene. I thought it was pretty cool. I was like, what the hell? It was. I thought a lot of stuff was really, really cool. So definitely go watch it. Like, of course, not spoiler, but we'll get into it at a later date. We had a request to talk about Batman, and I think it's a fine time, because we were supposed to do this weeks ago. Batman spoilers. Well, we're not going to go as long as we did, because we did a very, very long, extensive non-spoiler Batman review. I'll just give mine some really quick. I love the movie. I thought Pattinson, I thought that he did an incredible job. Very surprised at how well he perceived his Batman. His Batman was very new and fresh, and he took a lot of beatings, and it was great to see it. They did a lot of classic scenes from the old, like Michael Keaton's Batman, the Penguin, Colin Farrell. That's it.
Colin Farrell, yeah.
Absolutely fantastic job. Was my favorite character outside of Batman. No, excuse me, outside of Catwoman. He was my favorite character when it came to that side of the story. His Penguin was fantastic. The makeup was just on point, and you can't even tell he's in there, honestly. And he did such a great job. I want to see more Penguin, which we're gonna get more Penguin. And the car chase scene was my favorite scene of the whole entire movie. That was so good. And then at the end, when he bends down and looks in the car, I was like, all right. I was like, you didn't have to do that, but okay.
Yeah, I didn't think they were going to go that far with it, but by doing it, like, you thought it would be corny, but it actually worked so well. It worked so well.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I didn't see the deleted scene yet. No.
The Joker's the interrogation scene that they put online 2 weeks ago, or about a week ago,
really?
2 weeks ago. Yeah. I'm
Zoe was my favorite.
Yeah.
She's hot, sexy, great. I don't know about her comments lately. She shouldn't talk. But other than that, she's great.
Outside of my two critiques on the film were they definitely could have cut down the runtime maybe to like 2:30. It definitely wouldn't have been a 2-hour movie. I don't think it should have been a 3-hour movie. There was certain parts of that movie that they could have cut scenes shorter or just something of that nature.
The
like
kid,
they
could
held
just cut his ass out.
they held that face on Batman for a very, very long time on certain scenes where he had one expression like, do you really have to hold this for 30 seconds or like a minute? There was no need for it. But I get the directing aspect of it. It's art. It is what it is.
They were giving that very noir. It was a very noir feeling. Like those face shots were, yeah, it was a part of that.
The only other thing was it did feel like two movies to me. The first two acts were incredible. The third act inside Madison Square, Gotham, just was so different compared to the rest. But
it was extra.
it was extra. It's not really crazy because like that was the scene where we were talking about, like, I thought that was going to give it an R movie. Like these guys had rifles. They were sniping the shit out of people.
Actually, the fight scenes were real good though. Those fight scenes were great though. I'm not gonna lie, man.
There was a lot of things about this movie that I enjoyed, but I love seeing Batman getting riddled with bullets. Like that shotguns.
That shotgun was wild, bro. Oh my god,
it was so good. But my favorite, at least for that portion of it, my favorite scene was, I think it was the sewer. Wait, was it? He dropped down into something and it was completely dark. I think the lights were cut. Maybe it was the third act, but they start shooting and it's completely black. They start shooting and and the sparks
that was a club scene.
Yeah, the sparks coming off of him and the gunshots was the lighting of it.
That was so video game.
So Batman, so video game, so awesome that I have goosebumps actually just talking about it because I enjoyed it the most. That's what I enjoyed the most. But the different take that I liked the most of it, usually Batman, what we've seen in comic books and like in other movies and TVs was he would just appear. You would turn around and he would just appear.
Or the sound.
I loved how they use shadow and darkness. Remember the beginning scene where they're outside the grocery store and that guy with the mask is staring into the black dark alley and nothing happened. But then fast forward to the church scene, or not even fast forward to church scene, fast forward to where that guy's getting mugged in the subway.
Yeah, in the train station.
And they use it, and then you just hear stomp, 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 and he appears. There is something about that, like he's striking fear out of the darkness. Not that he just appeared behind somebody, but that he's walking towards you and you know shit's about to go down because what is coming out of there. I absolutely love that because it was so different and it was just awesome. It was just awesome.
They nailed the atmosphere. Actually, I think this is the strongest Batman yet. I don't like comparing it to Michael Keaton's because that has a nostalgic love. But based on overall delivery, I think this Batman movie is probably the best Batman movie they ever made. And on top of that, it's a really good time to get into Batman now. I think that they need to pay that man buku some money and keep him around because this world that they're building, the thing that they nailed the best was Gotham. Gotham felt good. It didn't feel like Michael Keaton's Batman Gotham. It was more gothic. But this one felt real. This felt like a cross between New York and Europe, put together. And just the world itself felt really beautiful on the outside if you're hovering over the city, but very dirty on the inside if you're looking from the street level. And I think that's what they wanted to, and they delivered it very, very, very well. The cops were your old, hey, get over here type cops.
Italian, I love it. I love it.
Yeah, very exaggerated, but very needed because that's the Batman world. The twisted stuff that's going on with the corruption is they nailed that. That was so easy for them to do. Yep. Everybody's corrupted, dude. Like everybody's in the pocket of everybody else. Everybody was doing favors for everybody else. Debts were owed and debts were paid, sometimes with your life. And it's just great. But the thing about Gotham being dirty, a lot of the times when they depict Gotham in a lot of series, it's just gray. Like they try to go off that monochromatic feel to bring you there. They didn't do that with this one. This one has some vibrance in it, but it was like light in places where you don't want to be, and it had a character. And I really loved that the city was alive. I thought that was really, really great. And you had those people that were trying to build hope in a city that was hopeless. So it was really, really good.
That really, that is point, and how Zoe Kravitz Catwoman was more than just like a sex symbol. She was
sexy.
yes.
God damn. She was not used in that way. Yes.
Yeah, she was Catwoman, but she wasn't. She's been doing it longer than Batman has. Like Batman, this is year 2. She's been doing this for a little bit longer.
Right. She's seasoned.
She's a little bit more
She's
seasoned.
not like, oh, Batman. You know, like how they always depicted Catwoman, like rubbing on herself and walking up and stuff. She was more like in his face, telling him pretty much like, I know who you are because you're like me. And we can make beautiful chemistry together, or we don't have to. And that's sexy. The sexiest thing about a woman is I'm pretty sure women probably say the same about men or whatever, if you're into that, is confidence and knowing what you want and knowing how to get it without depending on, you know, the other party in this movie. So it's just like she knows what she wants. She would love for him to, you know, be by her side because she finds herself falling in love with him. But the one thing that I always seem to be the theme lately is daddy issues. It's always daddy issues, man.
Well, I mean, that's Batman in general. Like that whole thing is daddy
everybody
issues.
Got daddy issues, you know. So, but Catwoman got daddy issues, and she finally sees a man in her life that showed her that he cared about her in some really effed up way, but he cared about her. And she held on to that and she attached to that, and I thought that was really good. Yeah, but she is just that girl put off just an energy about her, the way she walked, the way she kind of like, even the way she pointed her gun and like the emotions that she had, everything about her she was a great cast. The casting for that whole movie was actually phenomenal. I just did not care for the little boy. It's not his fault.
Like you
don't
get
like the
why.
harping on it.
Yeah, you get why, but it was a little bit.
It's a relatability standpoint. I get it.
You only need to do it once. That's it. Like,
Yeah,
you don't
it's
need
just too
to...
much, or twice. They could have did They could have did the funeral and the beginning of the funeral because he lost his parents. I understand that, but my God, at this point I was asking, is this kid Robin? At this point, like he showed him so much.
Yep,
that kid must have got paid, bro.
Yep. Like that's
how do you? That's IMDb credit for him for sure. Yeah, I was in Batman. They showed me more than the Penguin, and I didn't do anything.
Did he actually have? Oh, he kind of had. Well, he only had a speaking role, but it was kind of wait.
I don't think
did you actually hear him speak? The only time I think I remember hearing him speak, and I don't remember if he did, was when he's where Riddler's looking through the window. Did he have audio with that or not? I honestly don't remember.
I don't think the kid said anything.
Because like when he was a ninja, right? Like was he?
I don't think he said anything. I think the dad said something like, "He got me," that type thing.
Yeah, I don't remember if he had a speaking. Like he was just in these scenes and he had no speaking. Like that's incredible. I didn't even. The
kid was just silent the whole time. I was like, man, maybe this is gonna be a Robin that we don't know about.
All right, so for those of you in the audience that have seen it, and for Frank, my biggest issue was not the third act or anything like that, but how you had Riddler doing all this stuff. I didn't like the ending. Not that he's coming out of the darkness and being no longer vengeance, but using it felt like the Dark Knight Rises. The whole movie was about singular one-on-one Batman the Penguin, Batman the Riddler, Batman Batman Catwoman. And then you do this cataclysmic Gotham like thing happening. It wasn't like I hated okay. There was something about that felt so different, and I just did not like it.
So I understand it. Everything is falling apart around the Batman, and I think that was the whole second, like in this, like mid to end second act to the third act. It's like everything is falling apart. You know, you lose the girl, you lose, you know, you lost this, you almost lost Alfred, you know, there's a lot of stuff going on, and he just feel like he's falling apart and he doesn't have an answer for it. And when he thinks he's figured everything out and he thinks he's won, the Riddler has one more ace up his sleeve, and shit is going down. And he how do I do this by myself type situation, you know? And he's like, I'm willing to sacrifice myself. What I don't like about that scene is a whole scene of him jumping down and cutting the rope shit. Like I thought it was a little too much extra. I was like, that didn't even need to be in it. He could have just jumped in the water. It's Batman. This man literally jumped off of a building, hit his head on a thing, and almost broke his back. You know, like jumping in the water, bro. Like just jump. You're Batman. The fuck? So that was really weird because I thought he was gonna kill himself. You know, that was the idea. He was like, I'm gonna go ahead and electrocute everybody and meet. And I was like, well, aren't there people down there though? Like, why are you taking a live wire? But I was like, maybe he's cutting a live wire so it doesn't electrocute it, but it's gonna fall in the water. I was really confused. I was like, I don't know, I'm not an electrician. I don't know how it works. But I think lightning and water don't mix. I mean, you know, it's but anyway, I thought that scene was dumb. I understand why they have it in there. It's trying to give the acceptance of Batman. He's becoming more than just a vengeance. But they could have done that in a whole different movie. Not that scene, but they could have just did that development in a whole different movie and prepped us for number 2. I don't like the end scene with the Riddler talking to somebody in here hasn't seen the movie yet. I didn't like that at all. I thought it was unneeded. I think they needed to end the film. I don't want to see him right now. You can't keep stuffing. Fuck, I'm just gonna say it.
Yeah, I mean,
you can't keep because this has been weeks. We can't keep stuffing this Joker down our goddamn grout. You don't have to have Joker in every Batman film. You just don't have to have it. There's so many more interesting. I would have loved for it to be Bane. I would have loved for it to be. Actually, I really thought it was Harvey. Because I would have been happy with that. I thought
Two-Face would have been perfect with this, especially I would have been like, that's awesome.
Oh, yeah, I would have been like, oh, okay, this is where it's going. Also, the fit that he was having, like, it was a little too much for me. The Riddler was having like a fit, like a child fit, and it's understandable. I know where they're going with it. I understand that he still hasn't grown up yet. I understand that he's still trapped in that in the mind frame of just hating Bruce because of life. And I understand that. I understand he feels betrayed and he's a child in the end of the day. He's just hasn't let go of that. But I'm really I was just like, can you just shut up? Like, it's over. I understand. I'd rather him just be like gotten really mad and like had like having a fit that way. But this screaming stuff and that was a little weird. But I could have stomached it. But I just don't want to see another Joker. I just not right now.
Yeah, I mean, we had high hope.
Had too much.
Yeah, after Heath Ledger, when we heard Jared Leto was going to be Joker, it was like, okay. Then we saw the photos. It was like, Then we saw the movie. It was like, oh. But then it was kind of cool seeing him in the Snyder Cut, even though that's not real and it's not part of anything.
There are 3 main Jokers anyway, so there's different types. And we understand that that's kind of the route they took. Yeah. And it can be explained that way. Even if they didn't take that route, we can cover it for them because we do the research on comics. They don't. But at the end of the day, I don't want to see him. I'm still holding on to hope that this is not a thing, but it is 100% a thing because there's a comic book that's named
and the what do you call it? And they just put up
the War of Riddles and Jokes or something.
Oh yeah, yep. It's how they team up and. But yeah, I like they like even though he came out and said afterwards that the Elliot connection wasn't there, that that's not Thomas Elliot's, that's not Hush. Like, it would have been cool to see that. I mean, obviously some type of, tease of like the Mr. Freeze and Nora Freeze and that whole story would be perfect
for that. I see this, and I keep saying it. That scene would have been perfect for Scarecrow. Oh my god, because the whole thing was about fear. There, He's like, he could have said something like, stop acting like a baby. You failed the idea of fear, but I'm here to give you a real realization of fear. That would have been, I would have been like fangirling out there because I've been like, cool. Oh my God, it just went from the Riddler being, he was twisted to this. Oh, I can't wait to see where they take the Scarecrow. I would have been super hype about that, I mean,
because then, like, how are you going to, like, you do this movie where it culminates to the destruction of Gotham, it's underwater, all that stuff. And now you're going to bring in Joker, who's all kind of about the same thing. Cults and like a cult following and what am I trying to look for? Bringing down Gotham, bringing that, like, I would understand if you go from here showing the corruption and then taking it higher and then making it a 2-parter Court of Owls. Like literally Batman, the Batman 2 and the Batman 3, taking it the step further up the chain to the Court of Owls just makes sense.
Yeah, there's a lot of Court of Owl reference in this movie. But I felt very uneasy during the train scene because they had clown paint, and I was just like, damn, you can't even let me breathe. You gotta shove this down. Like you really gotta like try to hype up people. Oh, they got clown paint. We're gonna see the Joker at some point. Like it's
See, I didn't get clown paint. I got kind of like ghost skeleton because it was black and white. It wasn't really clowny to me.
They had the lips. They had the red. The
no,
red
they
was
didn't.
there.
They didn't have red lips.
It was very rough. I felt like they did. I mean, I could be thinking wrong.
The Batman base paint fight scene train. I don't even know what to call it.
This is called The Batman.
Yeah, it's called The Batman. Yeah, because that kid was Jason Todd in not Jason Todd. Tim Drake.
Yeah.
Jesus. The Batman has Tim Drake actor. Let's see if that comes up. Images. Yeah, J. Like Kruger. I don't know how to pronounce that name. Yeah, it's not red. It's all black and white.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's it is a skeleton ghost. Like, I'm looking at a couple of images on it. It's I mean, I guess didn't they say what type of gang they were though? Maybe they did. I don't remember.
I don't know, but it just gave me that.
I can see though, yeah.
I've seen that before in another Batman's film where we've seen in The Joker, honestly, when people started painting their face, and it was very, very rough. It's just like, I don't know. It just automatically made me, and because I was just like, all right, whether it is or whether it isn't, it's still giving you the
vibe.
Yeah, like, oh, it was Joker, so it's just like, maybe they had nothing to do with it, but still, it's just, I don't know.
Like you said, outside of Keaton, because also I don't remember was the last time I watched that movie, the two Keaton movies. Outside of those two, like putting them separate because of the nostalgia, and honestly, once again, I don't remember when I watched it. This is definitely up there. I don't know if I would put it above The Dark Knight, but like it's up there. I think I like this take the best because you see the detective portion, and I love how he's not perfect. I love how he made mistakes. Like there was something about that was the mistake aspect of it that was really cool. Like again, I think it's my favorite take on Batman. Is it the best movie? It's definitely top 2 or 3. Like it's really, really good.
I think Robert Pattinson and out of this is not his fault. I think he's a better Batman than in Dark Knight. And I feel like what's his name? Christian Bale? I think Christian Bale is a better Bruce.
Yeah, we really don't get.
We got Bruce in his maturity in the Dark Knight versus. Well, that's arguable, but let's just say we got him more. He's definitely more mature than our Batman. Well, that's arguable because doesn't he become the Dark Knight Rises? He becomes, so it's kind of weird. But let's just say that he's a better Bruce.
Yeah, the end of Dark Knight Rises is the end of the Batman essentially. Like I'm coming out of the darkness. I'm no longer feared. I am, I'm coming. No, that was the end of the Dark Knight, not the Dark Knight Rises. Excuse me.
Right.
After Harvey did the whole, I'm like the white. What was his name? Professor Jim Gordon does his whole speech at the end of it. Yeah, Jim Gordon.
Yep. Yeah. So I feel like Christian Bale is definitely a better Bruce. So I think he did a really good job as Bruce, honestly. And Robert Pattinson's a good Batman, but again, it could be writing. But I feel like I do like seeing him not be portrayed as a superhero, but as a vigilante. Like I felt like that was very important, and that DC needs to set the stage that we don't build superheroes here, we build vigilantes, because that's what they prize off of. That's literally the DC way, and So anyway, that's our little short take on that. I didn't want to spend too much time on that, but moving on. So. Comic book releases and stuff. So we talk about a little bit about Spider-Man. So very weird stuff is happening in the Marvel universe on comic books, and I don't know if I like it.
Ooh.
So one thing about Marvel is they take a stance on something. You don't understand why they do it, but you accept it and you move on from it, and then they reverse what they want to do because there's money in them darn hills. Okay, like I'm asking Marvel, like, how much more money do you need to really make, bro? Like let's talk about my favorite character, Miles Morales. Like, I don't need them. They're talking about so they started going hand with Miles Morales, like doing Miles Morales in different different iterations. That's cool, whatever. Those are like what if standpoints. Then they introduced two Miles Moraleses, which I hate because now we're starting to get into the Clone Wars type thing, so to speak, with Spider-Man. So there's a future Miles Morales, and then the current Miles Morales, where the future Miles Morales is older. There's a lot going on that I had to accept. Let's just put it that way. I just accepted it and moved on. Now they're talking about bringing back the Ultimate Universe, Miles Morales.
Okay.
This is so bad because this really just reverses everything. Like you grieved with Miles because he lost his mom and like he lost everything. And Miles was at a standpoint where he was by himself. Met Malekith Man. They destroyed the Ultimate Universe to create the new Prime Earth. Everything was great. And now here we go, and now we're gonna bring them into the whole drama between like Peter Parker and there's a new arch enemy, and Ben Reilly becomes a new arch enemy, and it's just I feel like they have more money than they need, and right now they're just kind of just again preying off of the hype, like
So I'm even confused what you're talking about.
Okay, so I'll just put it to you like this. Miles Morales has a new outfit. And it looks interesting. And so Miles Morales may return to the Marvel Ultimate Universe sooner than later. I'm gonna read this straight off. And this is why. So the newest Miles Morales Spider-Man issue teases the return of a familiar face, the return hitting the bigger implications and for future storylines like Miles returning to the Ultimate Universe. At the conclusion of the Miles Morales Spider-Man 36, this is a spoiler. If you don't want to hear this, please turn it off. I'll give you guys 10 seconds to mute.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Miles and his clone brother, see, clones again, Shift found themselves stuck in an empty interdimensional world to hunt for his uncle Aaron, which we're going again back to the relationship of Prowler.
Yeah.
Which we had no justice on because he ended with the Ultimate Universe as Iron Spider. However, a seemingly deserted location is soon revealed to be inhabited by a familiar face, a masked criminal Ultimatum, otherwise known as Miles Morales of Earth 616, which is Prime Earth. Last seen in Miles Morales Spider-Man 21, Ultimatum attempted to transport Miles and his family back to their old dimension so he could run Brooklyn's criminal underworld without interference. And you'll find out, I'm not going to get into too many spoilers about Ultimatum and who he works for, but put two and two together. However, Aaron Davis created an explosion with his suit to destroy Ultimatum's machine, seemingly killing them both again, along with the Ultimate Universe Green Goblin, which started all this mess to begin with because he's the one that killed Peter Parker in the Ultimate Universe.
Okay.
So this is the mainline universe Miles Morales. Finally, we can find the main one. Was teased during 2012 Spider-Man's first meetup between Miles Morales and Peter Parker 616. That was the fight that Miles Morales and Peter Parker had during when everyone thought that Peter knows that Peter Parker's dead, and another Peter Parker shows up, and you're like, what the hell? He's older. That's the Prime Earth Peter Parker, like the Peter Parker. But officially confirmed that in its 2017 sequel, Spider-Man 2, unlike Ultimate Miles, his 616 counterpart grew up a criminal and close ally of. Put two and two together. I'll just say it. Wilson Fisk, which is Kingpin. Eventually helping Fisk build his criminal empire later, 616 Miles left his Earth to find an alternate version of the woman he loved in Miles' old dimension, despite that the universe supposedly being destroyed after 2015 Secret Wars. Miles Morales meets Malekith Man. After everything went down, Malekith Man grants Miles Morales a second chance. So far, his motives for wanting to return Miles home remain unknown, but their conflict is heavily implies that Miles' storyline will see him return to Ultimate Universe. Prior to the encounter with Ultimatum, Miles Morales Spider-Man number 36 saw Miles and Shift run into multiple universes and characters from previous Marvel stories. These conclude Exiles version, Western, Black Panther, the one with the hat, the cowboy, Black Panther, variant King, Spider variant, Spider Ham, and with a zombie timeline for Marvel Zombies. The storyline coincide with ongoing What If Miles Morales. We've seen all those.
Yeah.
With explores different universes where Spider-Man's like Captain America, Thor, Hulk, naming. Anyway, blah blah blase blah blah blah. All right. This shit is all over the place. They're now doing what they did with Peter Parker, Miles Morales, and this is what I absolutely freaking hate. They're playing off the hype. Miles Morales is such a big character now. He's making more money than Peter Parker, and they are now splitting Miles Morales up all over the place to make as many storylines as possible to make the most money. That's what I feel. And that's just coming from me. That's not official or nothing like that. And creating multiple Miles Morales is the exact same thing they did with Peter Parker. How do you make more hype with Peter Parker and do more storylines? You clone him. And then you get people confused at which one is the real Peter Parker. And now we know that the real Miles is some crime lord that they introduced in the story, which really threw me for a loop. And now he has a clone brother. Like, it's just, God dang it, man.
So
you always gotta like go the extra mile, Marvel. I really hate that you do that. Like, can we just
is this
not
the same
do that?
is this the same writer that's been doing him for a while now?
Yes, Aladdin and Chris Allen, David Corell.
So I wonder why they're going this route. Because it sounds like everything that they've done with Peter, they're now doing for Miles. So why rehash something that people weren't a fan of for this, unless it's going to culminate to something?
Money,
but
bro.
what is it going to culminate to if people aren't a fan of it?
It's the way the comic universe gets you to circulate through comics. Instead of just reading one comic, they make references to other comics. So you grab those comics and buy those and read those, and you can put two and two together. Otherwise, you're just confused as hell. I mean, me reading that, I'm pretty sure you guys were like, "What the hell is going on?"
I was so lost with that.
Yeah, it's definitely a tactic. But instead of introducing new characters, they do this. So it is a flaw. I'll tell you right now. It's funny because DC has the same issue where they kind of like stay on one. I mean, it's like Batman, Superman, Batman, Superman.
They like to reboot.
Yeah, but I mean, fuck, at least they go back and forth between two characters. It's like Spider-Man. I don't know, man. The Ultimate Universe doesn't need to come back. Like, come on now. I love the Ultimate Universe. I did, because I felt like it was more relatable, but I accepted the fact that it melted into Prime, and I felt it relieved. I felt relieved because it was one we knew who we were talking about.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, even if there's multiple, like there could be multiple characters as long as they're just completely different.
In a multiverse. Like,
yeah, because it's the multiverse. Like if you have one Miles Morales, that's the one that you've known and loved, and then another one that's completely different because you want to do a what if timeline, or you just want to run a different story with them, that's fine. But if you're running back on the main line of him and it's a rehashment, it's so stupid.
Yeah. Which pisses me off because now it's stripping identity away from Miles Morales. And that's hard to swallow.
Okay, yeah, I see you on that one.
Yeah, it's very hard to swallow. It's like, oh, you wanted to be the Spider-Man? Well, here you go. You get the treatment as we did Peter Parker. And it sucks. Because there are iterations of Peter Parker which I don't like. And that's Spectacular Spider-Man. I can't stand Spectacular Spider-Man. It's just lazy. They made a really poopier version of Tony Stark. That's really what they did with Peter. But yeah, I don't know, man. Yeah.
That's rough, man, because I know that's the character that you love, and they're doing something that like, even as someone that's, I mean,
here's my stance,
and I'm gonna get heat, and that just feels weird. Sounds weird.
I'm gonna get a lot of heat from this. Of course, there's Black Panther, but there's not a lot of ethnic, big superheroes out there. And Spider-Man is one of the, if not the biggest. And Miles Morales was a great caveat into saying, like, hey, granted, he has the name Spider-Man. He's his own identity. Let's create more of these, like Kamala.
Yeah.
Let's create more of these. And let's give them more of a podium to stand on so people can see that, there's a very big, diverse word that everybody can relate to. Now we're just kind of like, it's like, you nailed it on one. And now they're like hammering that nail past the wood at this point, And I'm just like, God, you can make so many other amazing, brand new, fresh characters that have that same, a hype meter behind it because you already built trust like Riri Williams. We don't hear nothing about her, dude. Sucks.
True.
Freaking black woman lead, huge. Kamala Khan, huge. Yeah, just, I don't know, man. That'll always be my problem with Marvel, and I hope they start, opening their doors to a little bit more ideas instead of just trying to milk the well dry, or drain the well dry, I should say.
Well, I mean, Kamala Khan's got her own series now. I mean, there's that, and you enjoyed I remember you tweeting about it. Like,
the trailer was awesome.
The trailer was cool, and she's so like the
we
post.
Should talk about it. We didn't even talk about that.
Like, she's so excited and so humble
about
this.
She's so
like,
sweet.
It's so awesome that that they have this girl playing it. What do you think about the powers, though? If you want to talk about it for a minute or two here, because obviously Miss Marvel is all about embiggens, right? Like her extremities, her arms, her legs, and everything grow. But this is a different look and take on it.
It's there. Embiggen is there, but it's a Captain Marvel power.
Like something goes on when she puts that bracelet on. And someone said, maybe it was you, but someone said that could be something, and I forgot what it was. Maybe it was you, Josh. I don't remember in chat.
She does have that in comic books. And that's kind of like a catalyst, I guess you could say, for her powers. But I don't understand the cosmic. They're really focusing on cosmic powers versus her embiggen, like versus her like polymorph powers. Which I'm very confused.
Where does she get her powers from? Like in the video game Avengers, it's from the not the
explosion.
Tesseract.
It was from the explosion.
But it was the what do you call it? It was that thing that they even did it on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Something that starts with a T, right? Not Tesseract.
Yeah, that machine. I forgot. It's like a particle, some junk.
What did they use for like terraforming people in the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. show? It's God, it wasn't that it.
Yeah,
because they all became Inhumans at that point. Like that's where it kind of comes from with her.
Yeah, it's all the Terrigen Mist.
Terrigen Mist.
That's what it is. Terrigen Mist. Yeah, that's how she got her powers. I mean, that's how she gets her powers in the comics. Thank you, Josh. So I don't know how they're going to introduce it in this.
It seems like it's cosmic from that bracelet, and that's why she's so infatuated with Captain Marvel, excuse me.
Yeah,
and that's how they're kind of tying it together, where it is very different.
It's interesting. But let's talk. The honestly, her powers are not really that important. I mean, people are being really critical about that, but that's really not the important message here. The message is we have this very young, very ethnic, beautiful, kind-hearted, person who's getting to play a character that's really special to her, and I think that's really nice. But what I really love about it is the way they're shooting it, and like the way they're going about the production of the show. Show. It's very comic booky. I like that. And it reminds me of Homecoming. And I feel like they're kind of getting that young Avengers vibe. And I'm liking it. I was like, oh, snap. Yeah. And she has a personality. She's a freaking teenager. And that movie looks teenager-y. I mean, that show looks teenager-y. And I really love it. She's like, the part where she was like, wow, you're really cool. She's like, I know, like type thing. I was just like, that's good. I like it. I'm playing on it. People might find it cringe, but I think it's really great to see. Oh my God. I really hope they do what they did with what's it called?
Homecoming?
Oh my God. No. Yes. No Way Home. How we got Jake's mom. Like the real hardcore Filipino, like mama, and then like every Filipino was just like, oh, laughing about it, and everyone else is like, look, what the hell is funny? This is funny, but you find it way more funny. I hope they really go ham with that with her ethnicity, and like have the parents really hone in onto those, funny stereotypical, like safe stereotypical. I want to say, not negative, because how people are. How they hone in on that and like really, really explain it and like have her live through it. And I think they are, because I really like the relationship she had her dad in the like the short little part that we've seen.
Yep.
And how she talks about the attitude she gets with the principal and stuff. And like all that stuff just seems really cool. Now, what high school does she go to? Does she go to the same high school as Spider-Man? Like, there's a lot of questions I have here because I didn't really dive into it.
She's also in
She's in San
Queens, I
Francisco,
think.
isn't she? Or is she in New York? I don't know where. She's in New York in the comics, but I don't know if they moved her to California.
Well, I don't know if they moved. Well, they moved her to California for the video game. Well, no, she was from New York. It's just that they transferred her there because of they were doing like Marvel West Coast competition thing. So I don't know where this is. I mean, it looks very Queens kind of New York when you have the trailer on. I actually have the trailer.
Comic-Con based in
yeah, I got the trailer going like just in the background. Yeah, this is New York. This is New York.
She's from New Jersey.
She's from New Jersey?
Mm-hmm.
Really? I didn't remember that.
She's from Jersey.
I mean, it could be New Jersey where this is going. It does kind of remind me of New York, at least a little bit in certain parts. But I do really love how they're playing with you're a teenager and you're a big superhero fan. Like, this is everything. Oh, yeah, she's looking across the bridge into Manhattan. So, yeah, it looks like New Jersey for that last scene. But, yeah, like, that's
okay, cool.
That's really cool. I agree with you 100%. You got a teenager who's fantasizing or just, like, zoning out about being a superhero because she loves that world. She loves that universe and tying that into the comic books. Like, that's pretty much how I was in high school and in middle school. Like, that was me. Everything... The zoning out, the imagining me doing flying stuff like that's me. That was me. And having that portrayed on this trailer and hopefully in the show as well. That's really cool. And I hope they really lean into it. You get her culture impact in the trailer as well with everyone. Mm-hmm. I don't remember. And I don't
Muslim.
She's like, yeah, you see them all kneeling on their mats. I don't know what it is. I apologize. They're bowing, they're praying. You get a little bit that with like the way they look at the dance and I don't know if it's going to be.
I'm pretty sure they're going to show us pretty strict.
Yeah.
Like, because I mean, that religion is pretty strict and she's kind of rebellious. And I think I think we got a sense of that. We get a sense of that in everything. The comic books, the video game, and in the show, you can just see that she's kind of like showing people that she respects it, but she's different. And it's just really nice. I think they did a really good casting.
I mean, they did a great job, obviously, with Wakanda. With Black Panther and getting that culture into it, and everybody obviously getting hyped around it. I wonder how this is going to be for Muslims. I'm actually kind of intrigued, especially with it being a girl.
That's gonna be a good question, and she's not wearing the wrap or anything, so that's gonna be a good question to see. So if anybody's listening out there, and we try to be extremely respectful for stuff that we are very ignorant towards, please feel free to either come to the Twitter or leave a message on the podcast to let us know how you feel about the show, and like how does it feel from a cultural standpoint, because this is really big. This is big. This is not something this is not a little thing. This is huge. She's a very big character. She's gained so much popularity over the last couple of years, even though she was thriving in the comic book world as the leader of the Young Avengers for a while. She's very young also. She's very young. And it's going to be interesting to see where they take this. And I'm hoping they do a good job with it, which I'm pretty sure they will. And the relatability, the in-between, we have kids, teenagers, and adults now when it comes to this whole storyline of MCU, and it's a good introduction to the Young Avengers. So I'm very interested in seeing it. I think it's gonna be one of those cute shows. I don't think it's gonna be like something. Don't expect like Winter Soldier, or don't expect anything that's gonna be super hardcore. Expect a little bit more wholesome feeling like you got from Hawkeye in this. I believe.
Yeah, I feel like I'm
that's where it's gonna
go.
Yeah, this definitely it's gonna feel more Disney than anything.
Yeah, it's gonna have definitely a more smiley vibe to it. Which actually that brings us. I know we're coming up on the end of the show, but Moon Knight just released on the 30th. If you do the math on it for 6 episodes coming down the pipe, I believe that brings us up to May the 4th. Funny enough, unless they pause it and push it a week, or if they double up because of like Easter or something like that. it's pretty much going to end on the 4th. Then you get a 2.5-week break now because for those of you who didn't know, they pushed Obi-Wan Kenobi from May 25th to May 27th. So they shifted it 2 days. So now it's coming out on a Friday, which is interesting because then 2 weeks later on the 8th, which is a Wednesday, Miss Marvel, which we were just talking about, it comes out. So I couldn't remember in chat, Frank, let me know. Was there a Marvel and DC show that ran at the same time and one came out on a Wednesday and one came out on a Friday? Did they both release on a Wednesday?
Marvel and DC?
Marvel and Star Wars.
Oh, Star Wars.
Me. Like my mind is going back to May with Bad Batch, and I don't remember if that was a Wednesday or Friday thing. So like I'm interested if they're gonna keep Obi-Wan on Fridays or they're just doing that because of Star Wars Celebration and Memorial Day weekend, might as well put it out on a Friday, or are they doing it to prevent both shows coming out on Wednesday?
Moon Knight came out on Friday?
No, Moon Knight was a Wednesday.
Yeah, that's always a Wednesday. So
but Obi-Wan is being pushed from Wednesday the 25th to Friday the 27th. So are they doing, and that's the first 2 episodes, which is cool.
Yeah.
Are they going to keep Obi-Wan on Fridays and Miss Marvel on Wednesdays, or are they just doing that and it's going to be Wednesdays from now on?
Oh, you mean at the same time?
Yeah, like that's where I'm coming from. Yeah,
probably. I don't see why not. It doesn't distract from one another. I mean, they're on different days. If they were on the same day, it'd be a problem. But
well, that's what I'm asking. Like, do you think they did that strategically? Like, instead of keeping them
more
on
than likely. Also, they're having 2 episodes in one, and if there's 6 episodes of Obi-Wan, it just becomes the maybe timelines. I wonder why they did 2 episodes instead of 1.
Well, yeah, I mean, is it maybe because they're going to take a break because of Memorial Day, or they just didn't want to get it done halfway sooner? I mean, they're obviously giving space between Moon Knight and Obi-Wan because of Multiverse of Madness release, I assume, because that comes out on the 6th, that Friday.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, I don't know. It's just something interesting to think about because when you start thinking of the slates after that, you know, you have Andor coming out. There's a Bad Batch. What's going on with She-Hulk now? Apparently, there's rumors that there's a lot of on-set kind of what the hell is happening and post-production grief going on there. And I don't remember what else is coming out from Marvel later this year, too. I can't think of another Marvel one that's coming out later this year as far as Disney Plus.
Black Panther wrapped. Done.
Wakanda Forever officially wrapped earlier this week. Yeah. So that's cool. I mean, movie wise, I think we kind of know where we're going, just TV wise.
We definitely know where it's going since it wrapped. A lot of people thought the thing was paused in production. Apparently, it wasn't. So yeah, I think they had to do a couple more scenes. Obviously, Shuri's going to be Black Panther. It's obvious because that movie apparently would have wrapped a lot earlier if she would have got her COVID stuff done.
Yeah, if people were
so it all makes sense. Yeah, it all makes sense. When we gonna see more Ant-Man stuff? This is what I'm really concerned because Wasp was supposed to have something coming down the pipeline, so I don't know what the heck is going on with that. That's interesting.
Yeah, Quantum Mania. We haven't heard anything with that. And that's where Kang was supposed to be movie wise.
So I don't know. I think everything is going to be answered after Multiverse of Madness. I believe they're probably holding off of any news just to pipe that movie up because it's in every theater trailer. So you know, I think that's going to be their bread and butter because that's going to open up everything. Finally, we're finally going to get the answers. We're probably going to see some Kang in Multiverse of Madness. I'd be surprised if we don't. It'd either be in credit scenes or something of that nature. Maybe we even get to see Loki.
I mean, yeah, even just get a little bit of a tidbit, right? Because
or even a statue. Even if we see a statue like wherever he's like different places he's traveling through that whole thing, if we even see a statue of Kang or like
they really are quiet about things because Thor Love and Thunder comes out in July and we haven't heard anything about that.
Nothing.
Like we should have seen something, even if it was a tidbit of a trailer, but they may just be doing the kind of like what they did with Spider-Man. Like they're just No Way Home. They're just pausing everything because of how big
Multiverse of Madness
is going to be for the universe.
Yep, it's going to be big because this lays ways to opens the door for other phases coming down the pipeline and the future of where Marvel is going because everyone wants to know what's happening now that we don't have quote unquote Avengers. Yeah. Also, before we go, I just wanted to talk about something that is very wholesome that you might want to check out. Last night, yesterday, I was feeling kind of down, so I was like, I'm gonna see if I can find some, people like puppy pictures and stuff. I like looking at content that makes me happy, and I came across again one of my most favorite people in the whole entire movie universe, and that's Florence Pugh, and she has a Cooking with Flo thing that she's doing. It's like this little mini show. You got to see it. Like, it's really, really great. Shout out to Florence Pugh if you want to check it out. She just cooks and she talks and she's real, and it's nice to hear her that she's not, kicking people's ass half the time, and not in movie mode. It's really nice. I'm telling you guys, like, that back behind the scenes, like knowing that, like, oh, this is a real person type thing. It's a lovely place to be. She's a very positive person and very, very, very just a fun person who's she's young, and sometimes you forget how young she is, just because she just turned 25, 26. I think she's just turned 26 in January. Yeah. Just turned 26 January 3rd.
Yep.
And she's incredible. Watch it. It's on her Instagram reels, and she does Cooking with Flo, and she cooks like stuffed peppers.
Man, it is so
stuff like that.
It is so nice seeing like her, Tom Holland, like these younger actors and actresses, knowing that they're in a situation where people would dream to be, and they are being themselves. They are loving life to the fullest, and it's cool to see that compared to like the actors that are a little bit older, and when we were growing up, like the shit that they were getting into. Like, this is a whole new generation, and that's like it's refreshing to see that, especially coming from the superhero world too, right? Like, it's nice to see these people really, really enjoying their roles.
Yeah.
Macaroni and cheese.
That's a very good point. It's like they don't want to mess up because they don't, it's like they're very careful, and they're just enjoying life. And I think it comes down to the standpoint that social media is rampant. Like, their lives are put in the eyes of us normal folk consistently, and the good thing is, it's better for you to put your business out there yourself than to have paparazzi doing it. And that's the big difference between like the now and before. Before, people were just getting snapped by paparazzi and very, very annoyed and agitated, and they just look at it like they are at their worst.
You don't get that evil. Because of technology. Like, this younger generation gets it, and they're taking control of their life and putting out what they want to because of they love that, compared to getting cameras in your faces. Now you're right. And now you're hearing more stories about like the paparazzi with this younger generation. Like, they're as I air quote cool, I would say. Like, they're good with each other because it is it is what it is, compared to like, mother, what are you doing? Yeah,
there's times where I've seen like Zendaya like walk up to paparazzi, and she was like, just posing for them and stuff, and waving and stuff, and like just being that spirit instead of like slapping people in the face or like cussing them out like someone was crying. So it's funny because paparazzi showed I think it was like a phone video of them in the airport after the whole premiere of No Way Home, and you got to see each one in their element. You got to see Andrew Garfield, who's very like introverted, have a hood over his head type thing, like not old schooly, but like kind of in between that old school, new school. He still kind of he kind of stared at the camera and just like nodded or whatever, and that was it. Tom Holland waving at the camera, like, just like happy little go lucky kid. Zendaya like doing a funny face, and you got Tobey Maguire, looks like he wants to shoot the world, like it's like, stay away from me, type vibe, and you can see all the generations right there in that one little snippet of how they handle social media. It's pretty cool. But it was really nice seeing Florence Pugh. It feels like you know her on a more personal level when she does stuff like that, and it's really nice and wholesome. I really, really dig it. And she's one of my faves. She's very, very, and she's very humble, man. Like, very, very humble. So anyway, that's it, guys. That's it for the show today. So I hope you
right on time. Look at that. Yay!
Enjoyed it. Homework, go watch Moon Knight. Tell us about some comics that you're getting into, and let's break it down, indie comics. Let us know if you're reading any indie comics. Let's bring some new indies to the forefront. We talk a lot about the big two, but there's a lot going on in indie comic world too. And if you want us to, keep our eyes on it. Let us know. Read some Moon Knight comics. Let us know what you think about the character, or research the character on Wiki, and let us know what hopes that you get to see, or stuff that you would like to see changed. Are you happy with Oscar Isaac playing Moon Knight? I mean, I am, but if you have differences, let us know. Or if you're happy about it, let us know. Or do you still see Star Wars when you see Oscar Isaac? Other than that, yeah. Matt, do you have anything?
No, yeah. I mean, obviously, some things we talked about earlier, we'll be talking about next week too. We'll go into Morbius a little bit more in detail. Spoilerville with that one, in addition to at least episode 1, and we'll do like a synopsis / review of episode 2. So make sure 100% to see episode 1, so we can go a little bit more spoilery into it. Obviously, comic book stuff. There's a lot of stuff going on right now. I've brought it up before. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, Last Ronin. Go check it out. The original writer of it said it was very Frank Miller, Dark Knight Returns driven. Think of that as Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It's a unique comparison, I guess you would say. It's a unique coming together. It's a great series. I've said it before too. Power Rangers, what they're doing in comic books right now is absolutely incredible. Even though we've been talking a lot about Batman and Marvel, or DC and Marvel, we are more than that, and you'll start seeing that, especially up in the upcoming weeks with a lot more things going on in the comic book world. We got The Boys season. We haven't even talked about that. We have The Boys season 3 coming out in June. So that trailer was insane. I can't imagine what they're going to be doing with that. Excuse me, as far as season wise. But yeah, outside of that, I hope everyone has a great week. I'm going to be streaming on the daily, as well as Frank. I think coming up for me this week is going to be a lot of just chatting, coffee, and figuring out what my April is going to be. I have no idea, to be honest with you, what I'm going to be playing. I have no video games I have a want or need to jump into right now, which is really weird for me.
Have you not played Horizon?
Horizon Forbidden West and Elden Ring. I liked Horizon for Zero Dawn, but for some reason I want to play it, but I just can't think about diving into it right now.
Here's the deal, man.
Or even Elden Ring, man.
What are you feeling? You feeling like shooters or something?
I don't, dude. I literally have no idea. I love shooter games. I love story games, but like,
sign up for Gundam. I don't know if I'm probably not an anime fan or anything about
no,
that, but
no, Gundam it's Overwatch S Gundam. That looks dope.
Yeah. I'm working with them, and I'm gonna be putting out a tweet after this about it. Sign up for CBT. Go to Steam right now. It's free. You sign up. The game will be free to play, by the way. So you sign up and you can get into closed beta. I'm gonna be playing it probably starting on the 6th, Monday, I think. So I'm gonna be playing it through the week, and doing some stuff with them. That team reached out to me, and they're very awesome people. I was very surprised, and I love Gundam stuff. Like, I love Gundam, but so I'm really excited for it. Go check some videos out on it. If it's something you want to sign up for, just get on it. It looks dope. Like, honestly, like, it's not one of those things where you're just kind of like, single player storyline type. It's pretty dang dope, man.
Gundam Evolution, right? No.
Evolution.
Yep. Request access.
Yep.
Yes.
Just hit request access, and you'll get an email, and it's not guaranteed 100% you get it, but more than likely we'll get it. So just go ahead and
poke.
Do that.
Yeah, no, that's
just do that.
Because it was funny, and I know we'll wrap up here in a second. I was looking at like games coming out from like April to like August or September. For me specifically, there's like no games that are coming out. Forspoken was one of them, but that's got pushed to October. It's no longer May.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm having a hard decision too, because I'm gonna be back on the weekly doing shows very soon. I took a small break, and I'm gonna be back on it for a long run. And I don't know what games to talk about, because I'm just like, what games are people excited about? It's coming out now, and it's all Hellblade is Hellblade is supposed to come out. I think in October though. I think it's October release. I think October is gonna be another March, February type thing, where it's like overloaded.
January, February, March this year was just overloaded, and I have.
Yeah. You know what was disappointing? Ghostwire.
That was the game I was so hyped for.
So disappointing.
It looks so good, and then it's like I didn't even want to.
It just doesn't. Yeah. It doesn't look good.
You and Frank should play no build Fortnite together just once. I would do that, actually.
I downloaded Fortnite.
No
because
build
I made a promise. I said if Fortnite ever had no building, I'd try it. So I don't know if I'm gonna try it online because I don't feel like dealing with little baby boppers coming in my stream telling me I suck every 5 seconds. Like, gosh, man, you know, like, so I'm probably gonna try it offline first. But yeah, if they keep no build Fortnite, which I think is a power move.
They are, I think. They're keeping it definitely for a while, at least from what I know.
Yeah, I hope they keep it and just do 2 separate clients. I mean, I think that's how it's introduced now anyway. But I want to know that your account is cross account, right? Like I downloaded that version of the game, so I wonder. I better have my account.
Yeah, no,
because they gave me a bunch of stuff. I ain't buying it. So yeah, I'm very interested in it, and I think Fortnite's great, man. I'm definitely gonna get Spider-Man like right off the bat, just because Spider-Man.
It's you.
Yep. But anyway, that's it, guys. Yeah. Thank you so much. Make sure you go to twitter.com/thecomicshow. Please follow that channel or follow that Twitter account. Please. It's very important that we build that Twitter account up. Okay, we should at least be at 1,000. So we want to get it up. I think we're over 100 now, or shy of 100. I don't even know anymore.
I think we're just shy of 100. Yeah.
Yeah. So the comic show.
Get your booty out there, hit follow, say hi.
We're at 45 followers, guys. So we should be over 100 by now, at least. So let's get that up. Tell your friends about it. Let them know that, hey, there's a cool comic book show. It doesn't cost anything to follow it. Okay. All right. Anyway, guys, thank you so very much for everything. My name is Technique. You can find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/Technique. If you're listening out in the podcast world, thanks very much for listening. We appreciate you. And you can find me on Twitter at twitter.com/TechniqueTV. And at the Commix Show, COMMIX Show. Matt?
Yeah, Nighthawk Plays, spelled with a Z at the end. I'm that on everything. So whether it's Twitch, whether it's Twitter, TikTok, or anything in between, go check me out. Nighthawk Plays TV, stream here on the daily on Twitch as well as Frank. Go check me out. Go check him out. Hang out, have fun. It hopefully is going to be a nice weekend. So if you're here watching, go take a breath outside. If you're on podcast land, go take a breath outside. And happy spring officially, right? I think it's happy spring, no longer winter. So happy spring, everybody. And then for Frank and I, this has been the Commix.
Oh, Matt, if you need a game, Wonderlands. Actually, sleeper hit.
Tiny Tina Wonderlands. I didn't even pick it up. I'll probably pick it up then.
Rainmaker. Try it.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. I'll do it. All right. Well, Frank, say bye.
Peace. See you guys later. See you next time on the Commix on the Mix. Check you later. Bye.
Bye.